Okay, so as I was saying, I grew up in church with a lot of people, the holier than thou attitude, also from my dad, the pastor. I tended to be kind of a rebel against that whole attitude. I mean, that could be why preachers' kids tend to get the bad rap for being rebels, because when you get all these restrictions and things put onto you, and then you're like, something's expected of you that is, well, you're supposed to think you're better than other people because, you know, God bless you a certain way, or you happen to have, I don't know, be in a better place than others somehow. And I just find that bogus, and it defeats. It's like, as a Christian, you're sort of like, there's all kinds of comparisons I like to make. Like, and I just draw from my own experience. So I was a soldier. As a soldier, you're serving a authority, higher power than yourself, something higher than yourself. So let's say a Christian is a Christian soldier, right? And a soldier, what does a soldier do? They fight for a cause, for a purpose. They stand for something. And as a Christian, you represent Christ, right? You stand for Christ. And what else does a soldier do? If there's a fallen soldier, then he is supposed to assist his comrade and help him get better. You don't go saying, like, look at you, you idiot. You deserve to be injured or die because you did that stupid thing. And as humanity, we're stupid things. We're flawed. And you know, we make mistakes. We fail God. And even the best of us, like, God has a high standard. The whole word goodness is derived from God, godness. You know, that's like, a person said, I'm a good person. Well, you're saying you're like God. Right? That's what you're saying if you say you're good. But no one is as perfect as God, and no one ever will be. Well, exception to that. Well, there is no exception to that. No one will ever be as good or as high as God. But as a Christian, the Bible promises that one day we will be like him because we will see him as he is. So the supernatural God gave us an opportunity to become like him. I'm not going to say exactly like him because it's pretty much the lie of the devil that, like, we shall be like gods. And that's why you shouldn't have listened to that's why you shouldn't listen to the serpent, because they're having trouble outside. Yeah, I told you.
Help me.
It's the internet. It's not the controllers. But the purpose of this video is to share my story. So I have to do this while I'm working because
I'm outside playing VR.
because I'm just gonna part here. I have a lot of stuff going on in my life, and haven't had time to do, like, play on the internet and make a bunch of videos like a lot of people like to do, like people like Kuro. So I'm looking for my motorcycle parts because I forgot to grab them before I started this job. Okay, this is both. Okay, so I was born to a Baptist pastor, and I believe when I was born, I need some more gloves here. When he was born, he was serving Vietnam, so I was pretty much, you could say, army brat, I guess. I don't know. He was serving in Vietnam, and all left-handed. Forget it. All right, so my father was a pastor, and I was born during the Vietnam War. I don't want to give too many personal details because I've had problems with identity thieves, and problems I've had with identity thieves. Also, there was a problem with my brother.
I hate my controller.
Anyway, so my family has had a lot of problems with identity thieves, so I don't want to give too much information. Kind of like a lot of my videos, I either wear a mask or obscure my face. I did show my face there for a second, but hopefully it's not something that the identity thieves can use or scammers can use, but if they do, I'm a nobody anyway, so there's nothing that anybody can really do a lot with my face or information. This is a size 5. So I was born to a Baptist pastor. Mother's a teacher. And there it is, it's the right size, yay. And
I'm a bouncer.
so that scared me. I thought it broke. So born and raised in church, so it's technically my culture. But being born and raised in a church and with religious people doesn't give you a relationship with God. It can give you information to work with, for, say you're raised by a scientist and you learn a lot of natural science. Science is the study of nature. And what is nature? God's creation. So to say that science and religion don't mix is just ridiculous. And people say there are contradictions in the Bible, and I'm like, well, you just don't know how to build what the instruction books is showing us. I didn't build this motorcycle, but I do have an instruction book that I trust, so I can work on this thing. And that's how the Bible is. But there are some risks with studying the Bible. I just realized something. You got like ancient texts, and you got some Bibles that have Apocrypha, which is like the Catholics have texts that are incorporated still in the Bible, and they don't vibe with the rest of the Bible, or their history of certain cultures of people who like Hebrews or certain groups of people that developed the early church, the cultures that developed from it, and there's, I'm not saying there's nothing to it. Sometimes it can have some value, but things like the Book of Enoch is a work of fiction. Sorry, it just is. People are trying to use that to build a false religion and say that there's like demigods and angels can have sex with humans and produce supernatural beings, half human, half beings, and that's where UFOs are, and that is false doctrine, and that is stuff that people who want to fantasize and build biblical fantasies do. If you read the Book of Enoch, first off, angels are supernatural beings. They're not physical beings. God is not, and God is able to create things. For example, Adam and Eve, God created Adam and Eve, and he created Eve from Adam. So he took part of Adam and made Eve. So Adam has the XY chromosome, and females, Eve has XX chromosome. So she doesn't have all of the chromosomes to make a male. So Mary, if God took part of her body to make her of the lineage of David, as the Bible says, but the male part God created in her. So there is a verse in the Old Testament, Genesis, that said sons of God saw the daughters of Eve and had children with them, right? And then it says they were men of legend. People want to make the men of legend part mean that the babies they had were legendary, which I don't think those verses go together, because I think it's just statements. Like the Old Testament is full of statements. They didn't have punctuation like we do, so it's like statement, statement, statement. And sometimes it flows together, and like even the creation story can be confusing because statements are made, and some are in chronological order, and some is just a statement inserted after this thing, you know? And that can lead people to believe, well, that happened then. But it's like the Bible says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and the earth was formless and void. The Spirit of God moved over the face of the deep. And well, what I'm getting at here is God said, let there be light. And if you combine Bible with science, which you should, then we know when a solar system is created, a bunch of material mass comes together, and this core of it starts a reaction that produces light. So when God created the earth, it was formless and void, and there may not have been light on the earth yet. So when he said, let there be light, it ignited the sun, and the sun started burning, right? Some people like say, well, there was no light in the universe, so God created light, and there was just light. Which, okay, sure. However, it's the natural universe that God created. It's creation. So everything within the natural universe functions under the laws of nature. So in the laws of nature, solar systems are formed in a certain way, and we can track it because we see things happening in other solar systems in the sky. And we also can sort of rewind things that happen in our own solar system and use the mathematics to calculate what things were before. And people say millions and millions of years or billions, and we don't really know for sure, and there's more evidence to disprove billions and billions of years than there isn't, you know? Because, it's a big statement, because, well, light traveling, sure, it's supposed to take billions and billions of years, but as God is a supernatural being, and like say, I want to build a Harley, I don't start with a Harley baby and develop into a full Harley. I build a Harley like this, so full Harley, right? So when God made Adam and Eve and the universe, he most likely created a full machine when he started. So Adam was probably adult when he was born or created, and Eve also. But he created within them.
Batteries are dead.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So when Adam and Eve were created, the universe was created. Dude, broke up my life train of thought. No. So he made the animals that he created and humans, gave us the ability to procreate, and thus we can have little babies that grow, right? The whole evolution concept of where you take a bunch of nothing and combine it into something that creates a life, it doesn't work. It doesn't happen in nature. Nature, everything decomposes, deconstructs, doesn't construct. You don't get life from no life. Something has to create life. So it's like, and it's in the science. It's there right in front of everyone if they want to see it, but people do not want to see it, so. Alright, there's something I need to do on this thing, and I need it jacked up. But, so I need to turn this so my brake pads come out.
Batteries in the headset. No, I mean the controller.
I think my camper is blocking your internet a little bit. Maybe you come over here. On this side of it.
No!
I'm having an issue I have to fix.